Trishan Dairon na clia chailúntan sa chéad bhealta beag brúar han sa trachnúna I barcí mhóra agus a gáfuinte strath Harbheith luach for ann dos na bútóirí an dahar dintar an dáhéamh an tatan se cata agus chéad cúpla nómad Harbheith táchta dos na fór na socrúan sa agus sibh go maithan son ag Offaly Lár na Park agus ag Cilín Kiley smachtar an asan son ag líis agus obair dinta ag Malani dí Chadwire feartá go maithan giúil ar na scór na gaimsú a Charnash Offaly agus obair dinta an son spásta sigan son ag Lorg an chéad scór chun iad a hocrúan sa aspaile obair dinta an son ag Cosantóirí Laois agus caiisiigh teacht Charnash agus obair dinta an son ag Paddy Murphy an Offaly Cornúnsaí tá deisian son ag an deire ag Peter Garrity an Canson Coiristeach Haran Trasnán aige scór maithan son ag Offaly agus sacróise sin iad léis a ceart fuite an tachtan se cata agus cinnte feasta testálar go immerthe trachnúna bhór dinta spás a rísin son crutha deis ag Offaly Garristeach an son ar cúil sean ag Kelly fósta dolisteach báite san angah agus in áíar an iacha endaróland an Canson a dolisteach anna cúlar fad ag Offaly ag tús na himmerthe a sin Kelly Hivington son anna spás aige le lábháin críicnathe in san líontán túsma is an cuairtóiríonn sa I barcí mhóra sóg se sin an banisteoir Kevin Ryan Derm se tris léis a bhat an tachtain se chata spreaga agus ochras éigent le feiscint in a good immer an sá trachnú na ríist anna chud spáis tucha dómh deisialan son ag Peter Garrity an Canson na Japa Harris an trasnán ag an deire Ard cúlín ag a siúd agus tús splóideach an sa ag Offaly Cúlín agus feitheag scarút na fórn an tachtain se chata agus ní bhearr go rómha ag a líis nach an irid an san na meisteach scór maithan son ag Stephen Maher feartá go maithan giúlar na scór na dheimsiú chaid líis an Jón gur tháiníidir Charnash go maithan san cluiche agus faras bar sé cúlín acha agus denúm an fanta tháinig Ciarí Charnash agus críicníidir go láidir chun na pointí stratha bhúchant na súlar fáidir cluichean léanamh agus deis maithan son ag Chadwire an Canson na dolisteach ardíirt an taim son ag a siúd Lís ag socrú isteach in san cluiche gá cúlín na stíigh chéile Stephen Maher dúis an son Chadwire Stógann se amagóníad an dáir an socrú isteach in san cluiche go háirithe nuair thar brú ag buint leis agus inis Lís obair bheith dinta an son ag Neil File fear an chum sa tarfaí an cúl Sáíir gan son ag Neil File Báite san angach orchar ceart sa ríist gan éon deis ag James Dempsey an Canson a sloppa cíimiid a ríist neart gan éon dáta ag Garristeach sásta tarfaí an cúl dhéon sé sin agus anna iireacht ar fad fórn ar chóscór agus ein fá scór na feicithe ag tús na himrann sa deisialan son ag líis iad crothúna seansan inis cúpla nómad a nús ach obair bheith dinta son ag Offaly chun an Canson a glána ach deirtí is smachtú agus na himthóiríonn son Charnash ag líis agus obair bheith dinta an son ag Céir Healy chun iad a chur ar an ansaí ríis spásantá a chun Canson na dolisteach ag Stephen Maher cúlín eile a siúd agus líis gafa chun ceann sa Somála cúpla scór maithastíigh chéile agus an cúl ach go háirithe á socrú ag teacht ó Neil File banisteoir nua a chun líana sin é Éamon Kelly a bhí le Offaly an Norad ar nó agus dul hartseoring isteach go dtí líis agus a chur leis an glutha áirithint sa nocht a bheith dinta son ag Paddy Whelan smachta Charnash ag Offaly agus an lína leachúil ag Offaly súnta má leis an blocáil anna bhán dáir an sa trachnúna Gyrgé smachtú tá Dwayne Palmer de líis ag ní éiríonn leis chun sé deis agus sellh de Offaly agus Oisín Kelly scór maithe a siúd lán tosaí réiteoir beagna go teach sa slíonn son sin é Johnny Ryan as tibredáin ag an deire sellh Charnash ag Offaly agus obair bheith dinta an son ag Cilín Kiley a chur ar an ansaí ceann contúirt agus tiite Michigan son endaróland de teacht amach ceann sa smachta go maithaige agus glanta agus súla maithaige chun Ben Conroy flic amach an son inis glúiseach anna bheith chuirlí chéile ag líis go dtí Paddy Whelan ó Conroy go dtí Whelan seoir páirte chun cúlbáire go dtí Conroy go dtí Paddy Whelan agus ag an deire Brad na súlan ceann son a methe Harris an trasnán agus obair bheith dinta an son ag líis fada Rohan and Townsend. James Dempsey agus here Count Elachor Clarna score Count Mahadala Shakan son o Killian Kylie Shin Count na scoring as Fiarta Feckan so Chalk Nuna Reached Mo Dearich on a Shemach o James Dempsey so cool Dearich Killian Kylie was own Dave Lina Illing Annie here Creeknik Shegas Nast. Rory Gerig shall have a call to us. The Shiganson egg Dwayne Palmer toss the nimmer Gomor the leash chalk Nuna.
Offload, keep going, Ben, keep going, it's gonna happen to you, mate.
Seed Aaron Owsley Spas Galorish Shiganson. Isn't it Tossa Agus the Intuition Desh to Willie Dunphy. Mahadala Stock against Shude Casa Norvishe of Vuila. Second Dara. Spruck Imshega Agus na Forna Harnash post score Dakar Galori the Scaroon Tony Kayla. No Offaly doing Harvardine agus an Banishore Nuo for Larga Kevin Ryan a raw Godogig sé couple of Lian Shin and Rudda Viarag Ella Luckland to Offaly and Tachton Chicago Treshin Jochas Montes Shin Gunna Galava a D shot Beshid Rezun to Sasta Passion Di Portleash agus her post score Jacksus Gudi and Brishan Ish Desh Egg Leash agus Egg Chad Dwyer Rishan counts on a Mehish Stock against shoot Anna has spotted her father shoot Kadishans and Cleha Clinton Mila Offaly now chacht. Lee Agant Cone Hossant few illing Annie here Favru on a creek a shoot. This Lisha Mahon Kain. Ruins on a Offaly counts on a smack to Rhetoric squeal election emerge in a nose scummy on Minik Vinek Johnny Ryan. We can see him Rory A Hockru Etain agus Shell Harnash egg Offaly. Kain on son agus a Rufat a Care Healy. Much go more into playing with Isha Norira agus to Shin Desh. Alicia Anna Glana Anna Goalish to Gunson. Derek Chaganash. Gadi Chad Dwyer and Cooley and Gao Keen of Count Ellenson. God Count of Siga K-Leg Chad Dwyer. Current Kunkaing agus Shing Chacht Gadi and Brisha. Coolin Diag via Leishan Tachton Chakata Gaw Cool Nomadi Dernica and Kiri Hogan Buolio we were so track Muna over Vahu Reach Gent the Coimer on the Vaha Master Dustet Shanson son Bedra Cool Kalishan son Der and Ray Tor Kalishan son Keen Taylor Tarnish Sheets Agus Sean Gardner at Talk Kunta Kim the Reach Taylor at Dullishstock and Derek Kalish Glan leaned out fishing Sean Gardner, agus by couple of Focal Dean, Johnny Ryan Lesh. Carta Derek Dearich to Sponta, agus well. Mission and Rudavia Tastal, O Offaly, agus Laham Ichisti Kahur Diag. Struck a good moment, Harva talked up again Dyrens, agus Pay Aaron, Heilig. Bishop and Whale D. Call it, Reed Hain, as Kiri, Dina Rogan, Stad Arhash, agus. Tosh the Balla Eglish, two Spader Ma Eg Tusan Darilahan, Counts on Imesh Docking, Ross King, Welby Shake Kunsi Kedla, Nish score Maheim Shake, and it's the Mona Biar, Elish will be into Berganus, Higalorica, million out. As for the listener, Tossa Ella, Chakta Shackens and Clay, Lehedi Neil File, Agus Dunphy, Agus Paddy Whelan, Agus Dwyer, Togalor, Agus Tossa Heglish, Hun and Cleha Orhashav, Because I reached and Lean Lachul, Jenocamada Leash, Obervadent, Her Aeronauncy, Offaly Girge Smachtu agus a Glana Rish Dacherty agus Clippert Ishtigan son Gandera Shell of Harnash Minter Leisha agus Desh Ella and son Egg Stephen Maher and Counts on Courage Docking showed Ard Imani Nilain out fishing and his sponsors in Tachton Chakata agus Carta Ella Darrigan son Offaly agus Aidan Tracy and Townsend Willa Anna Boer fad Offaly Sean Gardner, Deebrahad and Fark Riven Brisha, Keeman and son Kalish, Ganin Dout, Agus Tarna, Carta Darrag, Tracy Miha, Zanish Sleeve, Owl Vorla, Drappa, Eggy Folly, Mata, Ain Chancerecher, Cunava Clont, Instant Cleha, Orhisha, and Buntosh Shearfad, Eglish, Tashansel and son, Egg Keen Taylor, Ard, Eric Fadiga showed. Yarna Major, Buntosh, Ohave, Immerhori, Kamahiglish. Deshun to Ganish, Egg Fern, Kevin Ryan, Blue Ryan, some pretty Straha Luke version, Fantamach ar bhód dúchas. Scoring tastal go géir ó Offaly ag Shelvan rud is táchtaí, tá sé Harnash ag Laois agus ag Stephen Maher ana has spáint as amán íochta go siúd go dtí seo trochnú na Ceann Ellen son Curlin na anam. Ein chúlín díag ag an tachtan Chicata agus ítar fadid teacht ó Willie Saira ach an nocht. Agus na Willie Saira agus ón Immert tá sé go maithniúil ar na scór na Yaimsú. Agus roind Immerthóraigh Lorach Shelvad a Laois tá winning Harnash agus Norvin winning ag Fern while bhín sé dachar í do bhuala. Bhallart ar fad Offaly agus dachartí atá teachta seachas an cléthe tréis an léis an tachtan Chicata tá seansan son ag Sean Cleary scór a bhí a tastal. Tá éigean níos fearr ar chlár na scór. Í nóirí ar tastín cúlaigant go ní the Harrington Nash in san cléthe. Líród beidir choristeach. Dín na hédí Shane Dooley agus Gardner agus beidir an san gomioch deis ar chúlach anna iirecht ar fada choristeach ag Laois. Patrick Purcell ag iirigh ag Glanna. Tá gan isteach an son chun cara hardóg Ryan Malani. Agus ag an deire idir an bharrta chun count son Glant agus Laois chun ceang. Tu go héin Ní ród an sá trochnúna deis Ellen son an count sa dul seach ó Chad Dwyer sinna can sa príomh scóráil an sá trochnúna ríist. Anna has spáintas an frád óna tosathe agus scór úntacé sin go dtí se cúil agus cúlín is fithe. Agus dachartaí í nóiríre ag Offaly éon dul chun ceang dhéanamh sna tosathe. Cadún creidúnta thart a Laois agus níl deir déanta lo go fóil. Ceiristeach beidir go bhfuil seansar cúil an seo ach ag an deire smachtathe go hálaigh istigh an son. Agus Glanta agus a bhá déanta ag cosantóirí Offaly ag an deire. Dú a teachta seach ó go héanaid. Immerthóirí Laois a deis an son ag Cillian Kiley an count some meisteach Haran Trasnán. Scór anna bhaid. Teacht beagáín déanach in san cléthe dachartaí go leor ag Offaly. Le trúr díag insáis dulcan ceag dhéanamh. Trid éigent mar bhíonanta. Fósant ríist Shelv Glan tucha uha. Botúna ag botúna ag Offaly agus dachartaí. Insáis dulcan ceang dhéanamh tá sé Harnash an níis. Agus Shelvans na cúnaí sin an planan níis. Go dtí Shane Dooley a bhí ciún go maithinn ar iar go dtí seo ceann contúirteach beidir seansan son ar cúlaigh an tosí Oisin Kelly. Ag an deire Haran Trasnán tuigeann sé é héin go raibh deis úntach an son ar chúl. Pasáling ó Dooley cíimiid a ríist. An deire le airlach Roward agus Haran Trasnán. With this táchtaí agus dachartaí na Immerthóirí teach tuirseach. Iirecht ar fad déanta ag Laois go háirithe san chluthe. Agus rointas an Immerthóirí ar nó páirteach. Ar an IT Hurling agus an sártha spántas a go siúdarach na seachtainna i gcuireann Vicky Briún níis. Deis eile ag Laois agus ag Stephen Maher chunas na léachra mór dómhan sa trochnúna iad ag Creeknú go maith agus go láidir. Samáile agus ní léondát nach go spreagadh úntagé sin limnach a cosí céad bhabhta eile. Tá sé seo anna spreagadh ar fád dóibh. Is faidan in áiríre ar fud na páirce ag Offaly. Is dachartaí éonáis crop nó plan a dheiscint. Deis an son beidir ag Sean Cleary scórma. Haríis na scórna seo a teacht Harvey déanach an san cléthe. Is beidir ceapan Ryan dul Harnash. Is planigant a crothú ó nuad an chéad bhabhta eile. An oberdint ag Ross Kinnan sa trochnúd an cansan a meisteach ag a siúd. Sár púlín ar fad. Good to go back agus an deire Creeknú agus snasta agus ní léondát an isis. Táiste an bhór ag Laois. Ní hamháin ar chlár na scór a chu héamh Immerthóirí chomh maith. Stréis an cléthe chailúta gona círí an tachtain Chicata ba siad sásta leis an despántas an sa. Deis eile fad amach an son ag Cillian Kiley. Sinna ceann sa Immerthóirí tá ag seasamh sús do Offaly an sa trochnúna. Ingil Cartiga agus leanan sé go dtí an deire. Is go scór déanamh fuitige. Norira. Laois níos fearr agus níos cumasíonn san cluiche ára seo. Tríd beidir déanach dearnach fácha. Offaly Norira tá sé deachan ar hat a chomh mór sin taobh here an cansan na dul isteach scór maithan. Ag dearn na himmartha. Agus in Norira tá sé ag leanúd leis an trid. Na credúnta thar dóibh. Trína dhéantar le héad beagání níos lú, aber bha déanta si an sonach. Shellah Harnash ag Laois. Agus Neil fáin Hamilton Himróig seasamh amachchan sod a Laois seachnú nach Shellah glán tucha úhanson. Agus Harnash ag Offaly an countson. Microphone sé an réiteoir, scuilann sé leis an immert agus an buntáiste ag Offaly ach ag teachta seachanson. Patrick Purcell in san ád ceart, scuilann an réiteoir leis an buntáiste aige, count fada ag Purcell gan an cluiche ag chinú anseo. Réiteoir ag fécintar an uairtheoir an tam geallahheistigh há a dadal gearnach séite. Bua únta gan saig Laois Somála cúil, sé cúlín agus fithe go siúd, cúil agus fithe.
With a victory by 2-19 to Cork's 1-14.
After half-time, certainly we felt the game was there to be won. Then we conceded what I would consider a very sloppy goal, and after I think we were struggling. But I think they were hungrier than us on the night, and that was reflected in our performance, and that's disappointing.
We were very disappointed with our performance as a collective unit last Saturday night against Tipperary. Like, I think we maybe showed them a bit too much respect, being All-Ireland champions, and we didn't perform. And you know, as a group and as a collective, we were disappointed. And I suppose, you know, it wasn't a performance that we were happy with. So, you know, I suppose we're lucky enough to have a rebound factor, that we had a week to turn it around. And sometimes there's nothing better than having a game a week after to focus your mind that you move on fairly quickly from a disappointing performance. So, you know, I just thought the work rate and the ethic and the attitude tonight was really better, and it shows like that we need to bring that to our game every time.
Yeah, well, perhaps it wasn't expected. It certainly was. I think you'd have to say well deserved. And Donald, I guess that game has been well analysed down in Cork over the past 24 hours, so I suppose we might as well give you your shot at it as well.
Thanks very much, Michael. Appreciate that. Well, you'd have to say that, you know, Dublin deserved to win. They were far and away the better team, you know. Once they got going, first 12-30 minutes, Cork were in command, and you really feel, you know, that was the time maybe to, you know, get a few scores, knock Dublin back. Dublin's confidence was sure to be, you know, there was short supply because they were hammered by Tip the night before. But once Dublin got the run in Cork, once they got the first goal, I think that was the momentum changer, and they went on, and they were very, very impressive, I must say, by the end.
Kieran Kingston referenced it there, you know, the fact that they conceded a few things during the game and things like that. And, you know, from the position that they started the match on, they kind of drifted at times. And this is your point. You're saying they lack killer instinct. Would that be fair enough?
Yeah, it's a thing that I think has that Cork have suffered from down through the years. You know, I spoke earlier here about goal awareness and Tip have it, but you know, this is a little clip here now, and Alan Callaghan gets the ball, drives it along the side, and he taps it over the bar. I felt he should have kept going, and you see just coming into picture Shane Kingston, who's an excellent finisher, and Patrick Horgan's on the other side. Ball over the top there, right, and you had a good chance of a goal. This was very early in the game. If they had got that, who knows? Like Dublin might have been rocked. Patrick Horgan with a great run. No, he should have run straight. He turns a little bit left. He tries to flick the ball with the hurley instead of batting it overhead, which would have given him a better chance. And Conor Dooley comes out and takes him, and the ball goes harmlessly wide. But if Cork had got a goal, or even two goals that time, who knows what the result would have been at the end? Because really, Dublin coming into that game, okay, they'd have talked during the week about what they needed to do, but they would have been short in confidence. 2 goals there, and suddenly they would have felt like that to tip all over again, you know. So I think Cork, you know, they don't have that killer instinct, and a show there again on Saturday night.
When I was watching the match last night on the telly, Donald, one thing that struck me about it was I felt at times Cork were very careless. They didn't seem to be like totally up to speed at times in it.
Well, like you know, we'll say. Bill Cooper had the ball here now, like, and you know, Killian Burke should have supported him on the left. He hits the ball on his back foot, which never gives you great purpose to anything, right? Okay, picked up by Caelan Conway over the bar, right? Okay, Kieran Kingston said they were sloppy, right? Anthony Nash here with the puck out. I've highlighted 2 Cork players that were free. He strikes the ball beyond them, right? In comes Donald Burke, bang, back over the bar, right? And you know, these things shouldn't be happening. And here again, almost a replica, you know. 3 Cork fellas highlighted. Mark Coleman, probably the one on the far side, should have been the recipient of that ball. Right? In their step, bang back over the bar. What was it Oscar Wilde said about, you know, you can make one mistake, but making two of the same is downright careless. Like, and that was where Cork were, and they need to eliminate these. You know, these are fundamentals as far as I'm concerned. When you have the ball, you must protect it. Cork were just too careless. Kieran Kingston said themselves, and sloppy.
But I suppose, in fairness, don't we, Brendan, we must always put this in the context of the fact that, OK, disappointing for Cork to lose down in Cork, but this was impressive from Dublin from the point of view of last week, as you heard Ger saying in the interview there as well. You know, they really, really were bet out the gate by Tip, let's be honest about it. And to come back with that response was impressive.
Yeah, it was, you know, and Ger would have, some would have felt throwing his players under the bus after the game by saying the way they played, but they came out with fire and passion, even early on. They always look at the forward line to see what their attitude is towards the game. They were pushing Cork players out over the sideline. They were really, really up for the game, you know, and again, like, you know, you've Owen O'Donnell here, who was fantastic last weekend against Tipperary as well. Puts the ball in front of Ryan Dwyer, who was a nuisance all night long. Not the biggest player in the world, but a game runner, really aggressive. Once he gets possession, then he's looking up, and all night long, Dublin had runners coming off the players inside in the full forward line. And then, of course, you're always looking for your young players to stand up. Ger Cunningham has gone with youth. You know, you have Conroy there, a pint from, you know, nearly the next parish. It was a fantastic score. You know, then you've Rian McBride, who scored 2 pints on the night. You know, again, really composed, a good score. I mean, we're seeing now what Ger Cunningham's obviously seen in training, you know, and he must be very happy with that. And finally, a turnover. Donald Burke turns the ball over. Their absolute goal. When you're a manager, Donald, as you know, to see your forward take the ball off a defender and put it back over their head again. You mentioned about the puck outs and all. They were really, really on their game, and we're starting to see that little bit of potential, you know, that Ger Cunningham can see. And it was great to see the other night from Dublin to see him coming back like that.
Yeah, well, fair play to Dublin. Good win. OK, we are going to dip into Division 1B for our next piece of action, and these are the matches between Laois.
Galway and Wexford don't meet that often in either league or championship. In fact, today's encounter in Salt Hill was only their 11th meeting in the last 25 years. The last was back in 2011, which Galway won easily. On a foggy but dry afternoon, with both sides wearing similar jerseys, it was Galway who were ahead straight from the throw-in as the ball was worked to Conor Cooney, who put the home side ahead from a difficult angle. Wexford, though, settled, and having gone 2 points down, Barry Carton opened their account, and this long-range effort by Matthew Hanlon levelled up the game at 2 points apiece in the 9th minute. And Wexford continued in that vein, and by the 12th minute had jumped to a 5-3 lead as Dave Redmond put 2 between the sides. That, though, produced a response from Galway. A Jason Flynn point reduced the gap before Joe Cooney just beat the Wexford keeper Mark Fanning to the punch to score the game's opening goal. Cooney feeling the pain after the challenge. Galway took control and built up a 7-point lead, with their second goal coming in the half hour as Cooney sent up Johnny Cohn and he fairly zipped the ball past Fanning. But 5 unanswered points from Wexford, including this one from Aidan Nolan, meant that at half-time there was just 2 between the sides, with Galway leading 2-7 to 11 points. 12 minutes into the second half, Galway had opened a 4-point lead. But it could have been so much more had Fanning not pushed Jason Flynn's goal-bound effort up and over his crossbar. The home crowd were buzzing now, and more so when Joe Canning, wearing 19, made his first appearance since the All-Ireland semi-final defeat to Tipperary. Moments later, Canning rifled a penalty after Jason Flynn had been upended. Not to be outdone, Wexford themselves were awarded a penalty, which was dispatched by goalkeeper Fanning. And with just a quarter of an hour to play, there was 2 between the sides, Galway in front. Galway goalkeeper Colm Cannon then put 3 between the sides with this monster free from inside his own 45. But Wexford refused to lie down, and 3 unanswered. This one from Conor MacDonald levelled the game up in the 70th minute. And then MacDonald put over 2 frees in injury time to cement a brilliant come-from-behind win, and Davy Fitz's travelling army were delighted. The Wexford bandwagon rolls on. 2 out of 2 now, and promotion a distinct possibility. At Pearse Park is finished. Wexford 121, Galway 313. A 2-point win for Wexford.
We've won 2 rounds of the league. Let's chill the beans a small bit. Let's relax. But I'll tell you, give us a year and a bit, and we'll be hard to beat. But just not now. Just give us a small bit of time, and that. So there's no point getting carried away. We've 2 good victories, but there still is a lot of work to be done yet.
You said character about your side when you were 3 points down to score those 4 and answer. You looked very happy on the sideline at the end.
Yeah, I bet I did, because it didn't look good. We were 7 points down playing with the breeze at one stage in the first half, so you have to imagine how it feels like when you're playing with a storm like that and you're down 7 points. But I keep saying to the lads, just keep being honest, and they stuck to the game plan, they stuck to the formation, and it came good for us at the end, you know.
Obviously it was our first home game, and we wanted to come here and win it. You know, I thought halfway through the first half we were, you know, in a good position. I think 2-7-6 up, and you know, in fairness to Wexford, they came back and got 5 unanswered coming up to half time, and you know, halfway through the second half again we got a penalty to go 6 up, and you know, in fairness to Wexford, you know, I think the way they structurally set up, you know, they probably smothers it out of the game, but you know, that's testament to them. But you know, they came out and got a lot of frees then as well, and unfortunately that cost us in the end.
Yeah, and of course the sea mist rolling over Salt Hill there. Nothing new about that, I suppose. All right, gentlemen, let's chill the beans here now for a second. Right, 2 wins, 2 good wins for Wexford.
2 excellent wins, Michael. Yeah. And when you see, I mean, before a ball was struck in Division 1B, you'd be saying, you know, it's between maybe Limerick and Galway down to the final match. Wexford have beaten both of them now, so really they're in, like, whether they want to chill the beans now, because they're in pole position to win. Because if they get, you know, even if they drop 2 points because of the head-to-head, they've beaten Galway, they've beaten Limerick, you know. Sure. They're going up next year, which is a fantastic feat from Davy Fitzgerald. You know, he brings something with him, right? Wexford today refused to lie down. I mean, I laughed. Michael Donoghue said like that. You know, they got a lot of frees. I mean, Galway conceded frees, and you know, in the start of the league, that's the one thing that you need is discipline.
I suppose that's the thing about the 2 games they've played, Brendan, Wexford, that on both occasions they had to dig themselves